Hello and welcome to Retro Cars Reborn. I'm Lee, and in today's episode we are going to look at the passenger side floor because the driver's one's done. So let's get on with it. With the floor done, this side, I think we definitely need to now clean out that side and inspect that floor because it's nowhere near as bad as the one that came out of here. But we still need to inspect it, and we need to eliminate the rust on the centre tunnel also. And then we can start to address some of the little holes that are in the front that have actually gone through. So let's just clean all this mess out of here. So I've given it a basic clean out this side, just got rid of all of the big mess, and took all of the tools out the back. Now from what I can see, it's just really thin in this one localized place, look. Like the rest of it's solid. That hole and that hole are supposed to be there. That hole is not, but I don't think that those two holes warrant putting an entire floor side in, so I think we can just get away with making some repair panels for those two bits. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to basically clean it back so we can have a good proper look at what is going off. Notice anything? Yeah, that's right. Took the cage out. Apart from this piece, because like when I was building the cage, you can't get it out once it's in there. The only reason it fit in is because that bottom B-pillar was missing in the first place. So it needs chopping in order to actually come out. But I've got full access to the car again, and we can put the doors back on to keep as much filth out as possible. So the good news was the doors still fit, so that's good. I've now cleaned up most of the floor, gone over any bits of rust, ground them all back, and just chucked the lovely red oxide primer on. We've left areas to attend to, so I've decided I'm going to cut out pretty much this area here and then replace it with this floor here. There's a hole just in there, pretty much where that beam of light is. There's a hole in there. The centre, basically what I've done is all of this has been ground back, and then I've gone over it with some primer for now. It'll get red oxide on it and then probably prime it again, and then it'll all be white. So I'm literally just using the heater to dry it all, and once it's dry we can get to cutting that out. So seeing as not all of the floor is trash this side, I have eliminated, I say eliminated, it's the wrong word. I have found pretty much all of the holes, all the pitting in the weak spots, And all I've really got to replace is this big square here. To make it easy, I've just made it that square. So we can just cut that out of the other floor and put it directly in. So I can just cut this straight out, just like on the other side. And then we can have a look underneath at this hole here. It doesn't even look like a real hole. It looks like a painted square. Ha ha! The pitted metal, it's terrible. There's no point in trying to cover it up, save it. It's totally knackered, that. Even though it's still got all the under seal on. It, like I say, it doesn't look bad from the underneath. There's how bad it is. You can see his holes. You can kind of see where it's raised up a little bit, but trash, total trash. So we're fully clean now, all the way around the edges. We're also clean underneath. It should stop the majority of the underseal catching fire, but it's nice to see that all the way around there's no more rust to be found, which is good. So now we're just going to clean up this part of the floor, and I'm going to cut it out bigger than what I started with, so that we can get a perfect patch in there. And just like the other floor that I put in, this has got 2 holes in corresponding places where you can put 2 screws and bolts through, or whatever you want to do. Just completely clamp it down. Just got a C-clamp on it as well. This floor has actually got a bit of damage right on this crease, which is why it is elevated there, because it's basically made this part of the floor flat. Instead of it curving nice there, it's got a bit of damage, which I think will be easier to iron out once it's cut out. So basically, we've got our template. I'm just going to cut it slightly larger all the way around. I'm probably going to leave this entire piece up here on. So yeah, I'm just going to draw around it and cut it out. So I've got it propped underneath on a jack and a piece of wood, positioned it, gone round it with the pink marker again, so I can get the perfect cut. Now I could have done what I did with the other side, welded it and do it that way, but it's only a small square. So yeah, so anything on the outside of that pink marker now just wants trimming off, and then it literally should be a perfect panel. After a good hour and a half, it now fits to the point where I can drop it through the hole. So that makes it a perfect fit. But that's where the other technique surpasses this, because if I'd have just laid it over the top, welded it in and just quickly cut round it, it would probably be welded in by now. So I'm just going to hold it in and tack it in places to hold it in place, and then we can weld it in. So she's tacked in. As you can see, my welder did the... I'll give you one nice weld out of the lot, because it's so inconsistent. So now we just got to fill in the gaps. So in a welding ideal world, that there is basically what you want it to come and look like, right? But the first thing it did was that. What's that bullshit? It just made a load of fucking mess. And that behind it is the second thing it did. It's just the most inconsistent welder I've ever had in the universe. Now, I hope to, in the future, upgrade to an R-Tech welder because they're one of the best. I know a professional welder that uses one and they always come out perfect. Because basically, they've got a computer in them now. Welders have got computers in them. You can adjust the proper frequencies and voltage and all that, and I've got to fiddle with basically fucking this shit. Min and min, and min isn't, so basically even on minimum this snap-on welder, the voltage is too high basically, so it just destroys everything. But we will continue. We've welded it in, we've ground it back. So that hole there turned out to just be a clump of rust. That one, still the original one. This one, as you can see, it's now rather round around it. That's because it's now a washer. So basically what you do is to repair that hole and as well as keep the desired hole in it is you get your cheap ass Tesco drill, which I can't believe is still going. You just get your step drill, you mark it to the size you want to go. I dropped it in the rust hole, bored it out till it was the correct size for this washer. Drop the washer in, like so. Weld round it. It's the same thickness as the floor. Voila. One perfect repair. Now we have already gone over everything underneath with the fiberglass and it's nice and dry. So now the floor, to become as perfect as the other side, needs a skim of filler over it. So I'm going to do that, and then hopefully we can get some final shots of all this floor looking mint. Or can we get in this repair as well? Let us see. So can you see where it's been welded in? Slightly. But I did leave all of these dents here because it makes the floor look more original, seeing as it's been jacked up in the wrong places, about here at the front in both sides. Also, you're never going to see this ever again. Once the sand deadening's back in, the floor's back in, carpet, the nice luscious red carpet is back in, you are never going to see it again. So that's another bit done. All I've got left to do is paint it underneath with the red oxide primer, and then we can move on to sorting that little hole out there. And there's another one just about there. There it is. There's another one just there. And then that is the floor done. And we can move on to sorting this out here. Well, the floor turned out to be a lot better than I expected. It was a lot easier to do. So yeah, that was great news. That. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe, leave us a comment, a like. Check out Facebook, check out Instagram, and I shall see you in the next video.